You are a bad person. Let's talk about that. To explain the situation for those of you that, well, let's face it, aren't chronically online, on about Wednesday night, Thursday morning, Twitch streamer Asmongold had a clip of his go viral after one person retweeted it after saying some not so nice things. Basically, this random Twitter user decided to, first off, use a racial slur saying this N-word, Asmon, really is an idiot or something along those lines, that they have since deleted, for probably obvious reasons. And then they went on to say that he is brain dead while sharing this clip.
To expect me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial. And I do not consider the difference substantial. Do you guys? No. Right. No. And that's really what matters. If it was made with AI, I'm completely okay with that because it was fun.
The evidence is that
it doesn't matter. Nobody really cares about this.
The lead developer has been very positive about AI in the past and made an AI game
We're gonna play
called
this, by the way.
AI Art Imposter that lets an AI artist draw a picture. And so that was like one of the games.
We're going to be playing this week.
Yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and you know, I guess general Twitter population, which is that, you know, AI is bad and it takes jobs from people.
Well, AI and the sentiment from artists opinions don't matter. It just doesn't matter because what matters is the opinion of the people that are buying the product. Like, it doesn't, like, your opinion on it, like, just because you do it doesn't, like, nobody cares. Like, it's not relevant. It's like whenever one of these, like, you know, really well-respected and really respectable directors talks about how bad Marvel is. Shut up, old man. Shut up. I like watching the Thor movie. It was cool.
And so people got the clip, and therefore they got upset, sad, offended, and therefore outraged. And it blew up basically across Twitter, or at least as much things blow up on Twitter nowadays. And here's the thing about all of that, though. Asmongold, even though we don't want to admit it, is completely right. And that sucks. Now, obviously, I feel like a majority of the offense and anger about it comes from his harsh language. After all, he literally goes from saying artists don't matter, or effectively, as most people have seemed to have interpreted it, creators don't matter, people don't matter, immediately to telling a director to go fuck themselves. So, very, very clearly, he did not say it in the most polite, proper way. Which, you know, obviously isn't that much of an issue, I feel. But it does, you know, there is a difference in messaging versus saying, hey, can you please turn down your music a little bit, versus turn down your fucking music, you know? So, and to be fair, Asmongold even addresses this in his follow-up video responding to the controversy.
Not wrong, is not always 100% correct. The angle you attack it from might change the truth. I have to say, too, that I thought a lot today about is the position and the approach that I take to communicating so aggro that it ends up actually, like, hurting my goals. Like, am I being too much of an asshole? Is it basically, am I, like, because a lot of people say, you're right, but I hate you, right, basically. And so it's like, is this an effective tool for me? Like, am I communicating in the most effective way? And I don't know the answer to that yet. I'm not sure, but I think about that. I don't think that I'm wrong in what I said, but maybe if I said it in a different way, more people it would have resonated with more people. But in another way, I'm saying it, and now a lot of people are mad, and more people are addressing it. So I don't think that it's really like I'm right and, you know, they're wrong or whatever, but I think about this. Because what do I fundamentally do? I fundamentally, like, what I do is I communicate to people. And so I think about, you know, is my mode of communication actually becoming counterproductive? I don't think so, but I do think about this. Effective entertaining. I think that it depends on what your goals are. So yeah, tone does matter. It does matter. And so I think to myself, am I harming my goals by not approaching it in a way that's effective? Because, like, again, I don't really care about the way that I say it. I care about communicating the idea. And so if I'm communicating an idea that's very aggro and it's causing people to not agree with me or not like me because of that, am I in the wrong? Maybe not factually, but it's not about the facts at that point. And so I think about the effect of what I'm saying. And I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about. I'll be thinking about that a lot.
However, what he actually meant is what he actually was trying to say, in a way that isn't just telling everyone to go F themselves, is that it's a basic truth of how the wider world works beyond Twitter and social media and the modern social media landscape. Which is that the reality is the average consumer doesn't care. And about what goes into a product, they only care about cheaper product. And ultimately, whatever ends are made to achieve that doesn't really matter until way later on. And the thing is, not only is he right, but there's active proof of this everywhere. For example, right? This entire controversy took place on Twitter, now known as X. Except, here's the problem with that. Twitter is owned by Elon Musk. Elon Musk, while there are many, many things you can say about the man, is at the very least a harsh capitalist and a corrupt capitalist at that. He actively uses his social media presence to influence stock prices, which is pretty much illegal in most areas. Or at the very least could be considered illegal, because it could be considered insider trading or an equivalent. And so, regardless of how you want to look at Elon Musk, he is by no doubt a corrupt businessman at the very least. Couple that with the fact that a lot of people seem to think that he is transphobic based on his recent pattern of behavior, which is probably related to the fact that he has trans children that have since disowned him, probably because he is transphobic. And the thing is, a lot of people who are under this controversy and who disagree with Asmon, at the very least, disagree with things that Elon doesn't like. Even I'm part of this. I have mentioned on my Twitter multiple times how much I don't like Elon Musk. How much that I would prefer if he wasn't the one in charge of the platform, and yet I still use the platform. And here's the reality. If you're using Twitter, you are actively supporting Elon Musk. It does not matter. In the same way buying anything Harry Potter related supports J.K. Rowling, doing anything with Twitter actively supports Elon Musk. And so Elon Musk, well, yes, the stock price of Twitter has gone down. Oh no. That's still hundreds to thousands of dollars that are going to that man purely because there are users on Twitter keeping Twitter alive. And that's not even talking about when people are verified in one of the many ways you can do that now, which is a paid prescription service. And it even goes beyond that. Most of us don't watch the credits of a game. Most of us, when we finish a game, that's our cue to go refill our Doritos and Mountain Dew. Or, get whatever other drink we prefer. I prefer tea, personally. That's just me. Or, that's when we go take a bathroom break if we don't just skip the entire thing. Because we don't care about what's in those credits. We don't care about the hundreds, thousands of names of artists, script writers, coders, programmers, modelers, special effects artists, graphic designers, visual designers, audio designers, sound effects designers. We don't care about every single one of those names in those credits. Maybe we care about one or two if they're notable enough. But even then, we still skip past it. Because we just don't care. We got the game, we played the game for a good while, we had our fun, and when we see the credits, that's it. And so if artists really did matter, if artists really were the true thing that mattered in this scenario, then why aren't we watching the credits? The credits are actively going over all of the artists, employees, etc. that have worked and put passion of some sort, or at least effort and work, into this project. And yet, we still skip it. Most of us still skip it. We aren't looking at the credits and going, oh, that person's amazing, that person's amazing, that person's amazing, that person's amazing, that person's amazing. Because we just don't care. Even in movie theaters, the larger majority of people will walk out as soon as the credits come on. Maybe a couple will stay, to see if there's a post-credit scene, because that's what Marvel popularized. But even then, while they're waiting for the post-credit scene, they're not paying attention to the artists. They're starting to talk about the movie. They're starting to discuss. They're discussing whether or not they're going to leave or stay to see if there's a post-credit scene. They're discussing what they're going to do after the movie. Who's going to pay for the popcorn or whatever. They aren't actively looking at it and being like, oh, look at those amazing artists on that screen. That's a good artist. That's a good artist. Wow, they did such a good job on this film. They just say, that's a good film or that's a bad film, and they move on. And this is seen across the board in multiple scenarios. Spider-Man. The person that I have hanging right up here. Or at least his eyes. We will all say, oh, we love Spider-Man, we love Miles Morales, or, maybe you hate them. Doesn't matter. We're not saying, thank you, Stan Lee. At least not every single day. We're not looking at Spider-Man and saying, wow, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko did such a great job on that character. That is an amazing peak character design. No. We're not saying that. Because we don't care about the artists. We care about the character and the character story. We care about the fact that Peter Parker is a broke college-age student that's just trying his best out here in this world, because frankly, that's relatable. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. Oh well. We don't care about the artists attached to the things that we consume and the things that we create, and this is proven every single day. This is even proven by what started this controversy, Palworld, which is a basically Pokemon-inspired-esque shooting survival game. Or as most people refer to it as, Pokemon with guns. That was a massive success. It is one of the most played / concurrent player games in history. And yet, there are problematic things when you dive into it. If we truly cared about every single artist, why are we supporting a game? Why did people not look into the fact there's a bunch of AI art being used? Why don't all of the over 2 million players care about any of that? It's because they don't care about artists, they don't care about AI, and they don't care about anything else other than the fact that, hey, this is a really good game. And that's the average consumer. Yes, there are always going to be people like the people seemingly on Twitter. There's always going to be people like, I don't know, some other person. There's always going to be people who will look into the companies of every single thing they buy, and there's always going to be people who are concerned about the moral implications. There are people that will. But the majority of the average people just out here trying to play games to relax, they aren't spending an hour of research. They're seeing the game on the shelf or in the Steam store, and they're saying, that looks fun, let me play that. It's why people still support Disney, despite the fact that Disney has supported Chinese concentration camps, despite the fact that Disney has never been a good studio and has only become a good studio recently because social media freaking bullies them every single time they misstep. It's because they are not moral, they are not a good company, and they never were a good company. What they were good at is making shows and movies and merchandise that people liked and wanted to watch. Because that's what people care about. People care about whether or not this movie is good or bad. And that's it. And that sucks. It does suck to have to be told, as one of the people who worked on that Disney movie, as the camera guy, as the person that sat there for hours on end drawing the same character over and over and over and over and over again. It sucks for the people who are there taking 100, 200, 300, 1,000 voice recordings, saying the same exact line over and over again, because that's just what it takes. And at the end of the day, none of them are going to get credited. Well, they'll have their name in the credits, but the majority of people aren't going to notice them. We notice the big ones. We notice when Jack Black's in a film, right up there. We notice when Chris Pratt got the voice of Mario. But we don't notice any of the smaller people because we don't care. People, generally speaking, just don't care about the people who spent their lives, their careers, their time and effort going there. And they're just like the rest of us. The people who work at Disney, they still go on their lunch break and cuss out their ex-wife or whatever. You know, the people, they'll still go and they go after work and they go have a meal with their friends. Because they're people too. And whenever we say we want Disney to fall, Disney's such a corrupt organization, we need them to burn, we're forgetting about the millions to billions of people they employ. Well, yes, we can say whatever we want about the heads of the company or the company as a whole. That doesn't change the fact that there's tons of people in that company that have their job there. That their career is being the random Disney employee number 36. Whose job is just to go there, draw a few pictures, deal with whatever notes they get, and then walk away again before they come back and do it all the next day. If we were to dismantle the entire Disney organization someday, if one day we finally get our wish and Disney crumples at the seams, all those millions of people are out of a job. The mother, the single mother, trying to support her 3-4 kids is out of a job now because Disney fell and crumbled. But we don't care. We aren't saying, oh, here's what we're going to do to get these people jobs again. We're just saying Disney burn. Because we don't care about the people, we care more about the company. And that sucks. It sucks when people aren't encouraged for their work, when people don't get praise for the good job they do. Because these people, regardless of what you think about the company, do a good job sometimes. Most of the time, even. And even the script writers. There are tons of script writers that have put in, that at multiple people's admission, have put in good stories, heartbreaking stories, amazing stories. But then when they get into the booth, they're somehow making crap. That's not because they're just crap writers. It's because the company is shoving things down their throats to tell them to do something. Now, there are some crap writers. You know, for every good person, there is a bad person at the same task. But the majority are just passionate people trying to do what they feel they can to live their lives and be as happy as they can be. They're not bad people for that. And so if you're going to say that Asmongold is a bad person for not caring about the artists, then you are also a bad person. You are actively supporting Elon Musk. You are actively wishing that thousands to millions of artists lose their jobs. You are actively wishing for the demise of people because of what you think is right. Because of the morals that you think are important, you don't care. Just like how the people who support communism don't care about the fact that people who lived under communism talk over and over again how it was miserable. Because communism, while it's a great idea morally, it's also terrible for the individual. Communism, by definition, cares more about society as a whole than it does you. Communism does not give a rat's ass about the artist busting their ass off to make a living. Communism only cares about, is everyone happy, and is everyone going to do something? Not, is this person happy? And the result of that, over and over again, has been people's needs being neglected, has been minorities getting ignored. That's what happens under communism. And so no matter what, this isn't a capitalist thing, this isn't a America thing, this is just a reality. We don't care about the people who poured effort in. When we see that random bokoblin in Breath of the Wild, we aren't thinking, wow, that's the amazing work of 3, 4, 5, maybe even 100 people who put time and effort into the model, the animations, the script writing of what that character is going to do, the programming behind the AI of that character. We don't care about any of that. We just say, oh wow, that's a cool, funny enemy. Let me go kill it. Because overall, we don't care about the artists. And it sucks. It really does suck to hear that. It sucks to hear that no one cares about you. It sucks to hear that you are just another person in society. It sucks to be told that your work doesn't matter. But that doesn't make it any less true. It's the same thing at any other job. At my job, working as a janitor at a hospital, if I leave, if I don't clean the floors, it doesn't matter. They're just going to get someone new in there to mop the floors just as good, if not better than I did. And they won't care about that person either. As soon as that person leaves, they'll just slot another person in. Because it doesn't matter that I'm the one cleaning the floors. What matters is that the floors are clean. What matters is the end result. And that does suck and hurt and is sad to hear. But that doesn't mean it's not true. And that's the important distinction here. Is separating what sucks and what hurts and what's sad from what's true. Even most of the people who disagreed with him still admit as their first sentence that he is factually correct, that he is accurate, that he is true. Because he is right. We can sit here and we shit and we talk crap about all the big companies of the world and how they're ruining everything. And then, you know what? We go out to McDonald's. Or at the very least I do. Maybe that's just a me thing. I'll fully admit that. And so it really does suck. And it hurts. And it is a brutal thing to hear. And that's why they call it the brutal truth. That's why they call it brutal honesty. Again, is there a better way that Asmongold could have said that? Probably. He could have not, immediately went from artists don't matter to telling people to fuck off and shut up. There could have been a nicer way to say it. But just like how the morals don't matter, that doesn't matter. What matters is the truth underneath what he says. And what he said was right. It was accurate. Even though most people can agree Marvel's declining in quality, I still have a friend that regularly consumes everything Marvel makes and says almost every single movie is amazing. Because he just likes Marvel. And he's not a bad person for that. My friends who are all excited to play Palworld because it looks fun aren't bad people because they want to play a fun game. The real tragedy in this isn't what Asmongold said. It isn't the fact that Asmongold said it in a way that's harsh. It isn't even the fact that artists really don't matter. What's sad about the situation is it exposes people online for the hypocrites that they are. You're going to sit there and say that you care about the morals while you are using a platform that supports arguably one of the more morally corrupt individuals in society. If you really cared about the morals, if morals were really important, you would get off of Twitter. But you don't. Because you don't care. You just think it's nice to hear it when other people praise you for saying that you do. And that's the real tragedy and the real danger of this whole situation. Is people not admitting that the truth.